Hello, boys and girls. Today we are going to read another story. This story is more of an informational text that we are going to read. So the difference between this book and the other stories that we read this week is an informational text is a story or a book that is full of facts. Facts are information that can be proved, which means that it's true. And all of these facts, you can find them in library books, you can find them in encyclopedias, you can find them on the internet and the computer. And this is a real book with real facts. So today we're going to read about zebras. So here's my little zebra friend. This is Ella. She loves zebras. So I wanted to make sure to show you her little friend before I'm reading this story. So this is called Zebra. What I want you to do when Mrs. Grace is reading the story is I want you to listen for information about zebras, because after the story, Mrs. Grace is going to have you write 3 facts that you've learned about zebras. So listen closely. You can always go back and listen to the story again if you forgot what Mrs. Grace said, but I'm just letting you know what Mrs. Grace is expecting of you so that you can open your listening ears during the story. Okay, open all your listening ears. Marshmallows in, eyes on your teacher. Here we go. What do zebras do? Zebras are African mammals. Zebras graze on grass. Okay, do you see the zebras grazing? Grazing means that they are eating. They are eating only plants. Okay. Zebras move. They travel to find food and water. Zebras know each other. Each have different stripes. A cool fact that I've learned about zebras is that no 2 zebras have the same pattern of stripes. Kind of like you and I. We all look different, and none of us look exactly the same, and that's just like zebras. Even though to us they look pretty similar, but actually none of them look exactly the same. Zebras live together in a herd. Do you see the herd of zebras? A herd is a group of animals that all live together. Zebras fight predators. They kick and bite. They protect the herd. Okay, so here you see the zebras right here. And here are the predators. What do you think predators mean? We've talked about this before, the predators and the prey. The predators are looking to eat the zebras, okay? I know that I can hear Kaden talking about this in our classroom right now. We read another book that was similar to the zebras where we talked about predators and prey. And although it seems like, these animals are being mean and this is how they survive. This is how they survive in the wild. This is how they eat. And if they didn't do this, then they wouldn't live. Okay? So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go over some of the words that we learned a little bit in the book. Okay, graze. Do you remember what graze means? Zebras graze on grass. So they eat only plants. They like to eat grass. Okay, what about a herd? What's a herd? You remember? A herd is a group of animals that stay together and live together. Zebras like to stay with their herd. Okay, predator. Predators are animals that hunt and eat other animals. Zebras fight predators. They do not want to be hunted or eaten. Okay? Each zebra has different stripes. Stripes are the long bands of colors that are all over the zebra. Okay? Now, I know we've read about zebras in one of our other stories in our reading program, and we learned that some zebras are black and white, but some zebras are actually brown and white. Isn't that interesting? And I remember we learned that Not only is the zebra's fur black and white or brown and white, but their skin is that color too. Isn't that so interesting? So boys and girls, this was a fun little story that taught you a little bit about zebras and what they do. So now what I'm going to ask you to do is to write me 3 facts about zebras, okay? And I would like you to write these in 3 sentences. So make sure you have an uppercase letter at the beginning of your sentence. Make sure you have an end mark. Make sure you have finger spacing in between each of your words, okay? Do your finger spacing, or 1 depending on how much room you have in your paper, okay? Make sure that all of your letters are on the ground, they're not floating in the air, and try your best to do your kindergarten spelling, okay? If you need help from mom and dad, that's totally fine, but try your best to do this on your own, and I'm sure Mrs. Grace can make out exactly what you're trying to write, or just have mom and dad write it below like Mrs. Grace always does in your journal, okay? I hope you enjoyed this story, and I will see you guys very soon, I hope, and I miss you, and I love you, and I can't wait to see you. Bye, guys.